Cool. We'll get it
All right.
rocking and rolling. As always, guys, I want to go over just kind of some housekeeping stuff. First things first, I always like to talk about why I started the Roofing Success series. And I really started the series because I noticed an overwhelming trend in the roofing industry, and that was that everybody thought they needed to buy more leads, more leads, more leads, more leads, and that would solve all their problems for their roofing business. And a lot of times that is unfortunately not the case, and is actually more hurtful than helpful to a roofing business to do that than it is helpful. I guess that'll be my English today. But again, every roofing company thinks they need more leads, and a lot of times that's just not the case, right? The basic systems that you need in place to have success were not there. So all the leads in the world weren't going to make a change. And so I know a majority of marketing companies out there, lead brokers, et cetera, are happy to push leads down your throat with the dream of, hey, you're going to get all these leads and be a millionaire. And unfortunately, if the right systems are not in place, again, that won't be the case. And so my goal with the series is to bring on really intelligent people like Jamey, who are experts in their craft to provide you guys with every resource you need from leads and beyond to operate an effective and most importantly, profitable roofing business. Because I don't think anybody gets in the business at the end of the day to be unprofitable. Is that why you started, Jamey? To not make a profit for your business?
No, no.
Okay, I don't know. I'm waiting for the edge case where somebody says yes one day. But I'm glad to hear we're in the same boat. So, with that being
Absolutely.
said, housekeeping, guys, just want to make sure. I know we have a lot going on in our day to day between taking care of our team, fielding customer calls, and putting out the little fires that happen in running a small business. And today, I want to challenge you guys to do something a little bit different because I take the time carefully to vet each of our speakers to make sure you can have the most value packed hour of your week when you show up here every week for the Roofing Success series. So, what I'm going to challenge you to do is today, I want you guys to take your phone, put them in a drawer, close out any other windows that you may have open, whatever you need to do, and pull out a notepad so that you can focus in and learn something new today. Jamey is going to be a little bit shorter here today. We're going until 6:15, so we got 43 minutes of power learning. So if you guys are ready. But before we dive in, everybody get that done, and then I want to intro Jamey real quick. Jamey, I've been watching Get the Referral for a while now because I think it's a really cool tool. One I wish I would have built myself, but now I'm not going to because it already exists. Right? It's something that I think every contractor needs, which is just a software that allows you to build a referral system and kind of gamifies it from what I've seen from my clients that use it to kind of make it more fun and more trackable for the people who do send you referrals to see what that reward is. And so what I'm going to do is Jamie's going to be talking all about the genius of building a referral program and how it actually helps you build a profitable business instead of one that you're just kind of churning revenue and not taking anything home. But with that being said, did I miss anything there, Jamie?
No, sounds good. I'm ready to roll when you are, so I'm good.
Cool. I'll let you take it away. I'm only 4 coffees deep today, so I'm not as high energy as I typically am. But guys, as we're going through this, and as people join in, make sure to take notes on any questions you may have. We're gonna have a short Q&A at the end if we have time. So write those down and we'll bring you on live to ask those. But
Great.
yeah, with that being said, Jamie, I'll let you do your thing. Show your magic.
All right. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Appreciate the intro. So yeah, I like to usually start these with a little bit of background from me and how I kind of got into what we do now, which is I'm the CEO and founder of Get the Referral. And my history goes back. I'm a sales guy, from long ago in the 80s and 90s with the yellow pages. For those of you out there that actually know what a yellow page are. But we used to sell yellow pages into small businesses. So I got a lot of good insights to small businesses and how they operate and how they advertise. And a lot of things have changed since the 80s and 90s, obviously, with advertising. And I'll use the yellow pages as an example. It was the number one tool for lead generation back in the day. And with that, over time, it disseminated quite a bit over the years. I think they still print a few here and there, but most places do not even have a yellow page any longer. And the reason I mention that is there's a lot of other things that have come and gone, and there's a lot of new things coming. So when you think about the changes that have occurred over the last 4 decades, remember in each of those decades, word of mouth was part of each decade. That's one thing that remained constant throughout the entire last 40, 50 years. Word of mouth is a great way to generate the lowest cost leads that are going to convert at the highest rate. And so when you think about referrals and you think about how you go about doing it every day, you have to think differently today. And that's what I want to kind of share with you today. And I'll go back to how I got started with Get the Referral. So I used to own a solar company. 2008, I started a solar company out in California. Um, and it was a good time to start a company out there, especially in solar. And we grew pretty quickly, and I loved referrals. We were paying $500 for every referral, and I'm not kidding you when I say that we were getting 20 to 25% of our business from referrals. And I had the Google sheet, and I had gift cards, and I had checks we had to write, and there was a lot of hassles that go along with that. And a lot of times, sales reps forget to ask for a referral. Sales reps forget to tell us that it was a referral. The customer forgets to tell us, and then we don't pay the customer. They call us and say, "Hey, I was said that you were going to, give me a referral fee." And, those things, it's really difficult, especially when you start growing your business and things are moving fast. And so, referrals and word of mouth all come down to customer experience, right? So it takes a lot to get a customer excited and happy about the job that you did for them. And so while I was, looking at referrals, and I'm looking at how do we get more of these, just came to mind one day, and I told my two partners, I said, why don't we just build an app, right? And that way they can send us a referral directly, and we can track it, and we can pay them from there. And so I convinced them of doing that, and went out and checked out a couple different developers out there, and to build an app back, and this was down in 2013. It was quite expensive to do so, and it was a very simplistic app. Couple buttons on it, and not real pretty or anything like that. And so, but we built the app and started using it for our own company. And I will tell you, I drove it from the top down. So I made sure that every one of our sales reps had everybody download the app and tell them about it, and go preach it to real estate agents and anybody out there that is willing to send a referral. We really drove that side of the business, and we went from about being 20-25% of our business being referrals to about 70%. It was an incredible transformation of bottom line revenue. We were able to not spend so much on the billboards and the TV ads and the newspapers and everywhere else where we're advertising. So it allowed us to then move some money around and actually have more money on the bottom line. And so that in itself got me excited. And working with small businesses for years and years, whether it was Yellow Pages or through my solar company and such, realized that this was something that was really needed out there. So we hence started Get the Referral in August of 2014, and since then been helping home service industry companies for the last 10 years. So I've been doing this quite a while, and really want to kind of express the value that you're missing if you don't have a program in place, and really understanding your lead costs and understanding what's happening in lead generation in itself. And so I'm going to go into a couple of those things here shortly, but if you don't mind, George, I'm going to share my screen here and kind of get started. Does everyone see that? We see that, George?
I can see your screen.
Okay, great. Okay, so I named this slide, or this little presentation, Referrals the Long Game. And it really is. It's something that you need to be able to think about, not just a quick win. It's a long game. It's something that you have to put into place, and you have to continue to drive and talk about it, and making sure you start it. I don't care how big you are. You can be one salesperson and 10 customers. You should start a program right then and there. You don't want to wait until you got 100, 200, 500 customers. Day one, first customer, turn them into a raving fan. So remember, customer experience is the most important thing. Providing them with the value of a opportunity to have a great experience, and they're going to want to share that with others. So that number one first customer of yours could become a raving fan and a great advocate and a great referral machine for you. And so you just want to make sure that this is something that you put into place. So don't wait. build your referral engine early right now. Start tomorrow, or actually tonight, matter of fact, if you don't have something in place right now. I talked to a lot of contractors. As a matter of fact, I was at a roofing conference yesterday, and talked to a ton of contractors, and they all say, the first question I asked, do you have a referral program? Well, I get referrals, great, but do you have a formalized program in place? How do you foster it? How do you promote it? How do you reward people for referrals? And most of them say, well, I just get them, and I give them a gift card or something like that. So they might be doing 3, 4, 5, 10% of their business coming for referrals. But in reality, you really have an opportunity to make this one of your biggest lead generating tools in your toolbox. And so it's really quality over quantity, right? Referrals build momentum, not just the numbers, right? So a referral is something that is going to close at a much higher rate, typically 50 to 60% close ratios with referrals. And the key thing to remember here too is that with a referral, it's coming from a trusted friend in most cases. And with that, those customers that were referred are typically less price sensitive, right? They're not really worried. Of course, they're concerned about price, but it's not their number one objection, right? It's, well, I loved what you did at my friend's house, my brother's house, or whatever. I just want to make sure I get that kind of service, and I want to get that job. So they're less price sensitive, and there's less competition at the table. So you're not going to go in and look over to the right and see 3 other proposals sitting there. It's typically you have the opportunity to go and close that. You have the first shot at it. And so that's the power of having a program in place from day one. As you start getting these high quality leads that in reality are costing you less than any other lead out there. And so you want to think about, how do I get more of those? And so make sure that you create a program and that it's something that can be scaled out, which means that you are able to add other components to it as you start to build that network of raving fans. Make sure you define your messaging and your brand identity. Make sure that you have a plan in place that allows you to promote this to not only customers. So think about this too. This is something I always share with our customers is it's not just your existing or previous customers or new customers. It could be real estate agents. It could be an HVAC company that you might partner with. It could be another business. Anybody out there that's willing to actually send you a referral could become part of this network. But how do you track it? How do you manage it? It can get out of hand real quickly. I can tell you, I don't know how many calls I got, like, hey, I never got that check. Oh, the dog ate the gift card. Can you send me a new one? There's so many things out there that happen. And so you really want to be able to have a formalized program. And then first, we say here, first customer is a case study. Take that number one customer and just turn that person into your best referral asset. And then it's going to build from there. And that's what kind of this slide deck here kind of talks through is the momentum that you build over time. And, I'll show you a couple case studies that we have for some of our customers over a 4-year period and what's happened with them. But before I get into this, I want to talk a little bit about some things that are really happening out in the marketplace right now. And if you don't know, you should Google or chat GPT it. But there's new TCPA regulation tightening going on right now. There's a thing called one-to-one consent that it was supposed to roll out in January. They did postpone it, but one-to-one consent is going to change lead aggregators or lead generators world by a big difference, because what that means is typically a lead aggregator is going to go out and they're going to generate a lead online, and then they're going to take that lead and they're going to qualify it and they're going to sell it to maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different contractors. Okay. And that was okay to do up until recently, where they want to change it to a one-to-one consent. And so what that means is that one lead that they generate, the person that is actually, requesting that information, they have to give consent that this company is going to be the one that I want to contact me. So you can't even give it to more than one company. So that's going to reduce the number of leads in the marketplace, and it's going to absolutely increase the lead costs. So that's something that you really need to be aware of. because it's coming. And they continue to get tighter and tighter around consent. It's so important. And so we spend a lot of time at Get the Referral working on ways for you to garner consent from your customers when they send a referral. And I can get into that later on here in this discussion, but so important to be conscientious of consent laws that are happening right now, because lead costs are going to go up. The second thing is AI. That's changing the world on how people search. I mean, Chat GTP, AI, Google, and the way their algorithms, things are changing very quickly right now. Like I was talking about yellow pages before, and that took a long time for them to kind of go away. Nowadays, things are changing overnight, especially with AI and how people actually look for different businesses and such. So that's going to change lead generation in the future. So referrals are going to outperform any other types of leads out there in both quality, conversion, and cost. So how do you make referrals a bigger piece of the puzzle? And how do you turn your raving fans into a referral machine? It's all about being able to have a formalized referral program in place and be willing to reward that person for their referral. And that's something that we did. It's something we preach here at Get the Referral to all of our customers, is understand what your current lead cost is, and understand what your lead cost acquisition cost is. And when you have those two figures, let's just say your average lead is costing you $100 just to get a lead, and then your cost acquisition is, say, maybe $700, $800, whatever that number is. Understand those two numbers, your cost per acquisition and your lead cost. And then when you get a referral, think about that for a second. You're getting a referral from a good customer. They're doing it because they had a good experience with you. So why not reward them for that referral? So we always recommend reward them. If they give you a referral, you go out and do a presentation and leave a proposal. Even if you didn't close it, pay them $25 or $50. It's still a whole heck of a lot cheaper than going out and paying $100 for a lead. And then when your cost per acquisition, say, is $700, be willing to pay, when you sell that referral, maybe $400 or $500. Make it interesting enough to get people excited. Because as much as people say that it's not about the money, it's not about, I just want to do it because they'll take the money. I've been doing this a long time, and I see what happens. And I do know that the majority of people love cash. Cash is king in most any situation. For example, in our program, you pay them cash, and they have the ability to either download that money to their bank and get cash out of it, or they can select the gift card in any denomination. So right now, the stats are about 92% of the people end up downloading the money to their bank so they can get the cash out of it. So keep that in mind too. I know people like doing gift cards that are branded and things like that. But think about how much you're going to pay somebody for a referral and how much you currently pay, for your leads. And then, save yourself some money, obviously. And it's the really true pay for performance program, because you're only paying it if you get a qualified lead and you go meet with them. And you're only paying it if you sell the job. So two great things to think about. If you're not doing it right now, think about how you can structure a program. I'd be happy to share with you best practices and such if you want to find out more, and what the average is and such. But it's so important to have a formalized program in place. So I mentioned here a little bit ago about some studies that we did. These are just two of we work with over 600 home service businesses across the country. And we did a study on a whole bunch, but I'll show you two of them here. And you'll just see it's the long game. This is why we're showing this. It's not about, plugging in a system and thinking overnight you're going to get like 1 million leads. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes great customer experience. But as you see in these couple of examples here, every year they got more and more and more. And then I always say, it's like a 80-20 rule, where 80% of the customers may or may not send one referral, but 20% of those people are going to be raving fans and continue to send you multiple referrals. There are what we call advocates. So an advocate could be a homeowner, could be a real estate agent. They're getting paid by some of our companies that we work with $30,000-$40,000 a year in referral fees. They share their referral link every week on Facebook or Nextdoor, and they're just generating referrals and leads for this company, and end up being almost like a 1099 sales rep for them. And once again, they're the best leads that are out there. So it takes time, be patient, but be consistent every single time. I will tell you that one of the stats I always share is 91% of customers say that they would send a referral if they had a good experience, right? 91%, but yet only 11% of salespeople ever even ask. So you need to make this part of your process. I know each of you out there have a sales process of some sort. You need to make sure that that checkbox that they have to check to get their commission, they have to ask for a referral. You have to do that. And where we see a lot of success is when they introduce the referral program on the very beginning of the presentation. Oh, by the way, we have a great referral program that might actually help you pay for your new roof today, right? And then you mention it again, and then at the end you kind of share with them what your program works, how they can start earning money, and if they finance the job. A lot of times, one referral a month actually pays for their financing of the project that they just $10, $15, $20,000 for. So it's a great opportunity to do that. You want to ask often. So some of our really high performing companies, they like to call it the rule of 9. Ask for 3 referrals at the point of sale, ask for 3 referrals during installation, and ask for 3 referrals at the end of the job when you're doing the final inspection. And if you walk away with 9, great. If you walk away with 3, that's awesome, right? That's 3 opportunities now. The great thing about this is it's a chain effect, right? So if I send you a referral today, and then that referral converts, which I said 50, 60% of the time they're going to, that person now sends a referral, and then he sends it. And so it just keeps on building on itself. So continue to give great customer experience, answer the phone when they call, do a great job, and you'll be amazed on how many people are willing to send a referral, and you should be more than happy to reward them for that. So important, and to hang in there, and it is a long game. So make every customer an advocate. And so once again, start with your number one customer. Go back to that number one customer that you have a relationship with, and talk to him about your program. Ask him if he has any other friends or neighbors out there that might use your service, right? It just starts with one. And then be consistent. We talked about that a lot here so far. And growth does compound over time. And then just build relationships, and it's all about sharing in your communities what you do. I know a lot of our companies, they'll go to the church, they'll go to the school board, or the PTA and things like that. They'll present their company, and they'll turn each of those people into advocates. And then they'll donate money to the school or to the church or whatever. So there's so many creative things that you can do if you're thinking about this in the way that you should be, which is referrals are the best leads. I need more of them. That's it. Just think about that and go about it in a way that allows you to have a formalized program. Don't rely on your sales reps to ask, because I will tell you, I've been in so many meetings, and I always ask when I'm with a bunch of sales reps, how many people out there ask for a referral every time? I just did a presentation for one of our customers, and there was probably 30 sales reps, top office in the country too. It's a big company. And I asked that question. There wasn't one hand that went up. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's such a great opportunity to do that. So be consistent, build relationships, promote your program. And I'm going to give you kind of the 10 best, kind of steps to do that. So here are the 10 steps to a great referral program. So before I kind of go over these again, George, any comments? Is there any questions out there?
I actually have a few, but does anybody else want to ask a
Okay.
question before I do? I'll open up the floor real quick. If not, I'm very excited. I've been sitting here on the edge of my seat waiting to ask Jamey.
All right. Go ahead. Let's shoot.
Yeah, let's roll it. I know you got a short timeline. One comment so far. I tell my customers the same things, right? When they're going to have us build a marketing program for them, I know what we're going to generate is never going to be as hot as a referral, right? A referral is the hottest type of lead you can get, bar none, right? So definitely agree with that there. That's something I commonly mention to people. Like, we're going to generate leads, right? They're going to have interest, but nothing is going to beat somebody who's been referred to you by somebody they already know and trust, because that translates directly to you. The question I had for you is, you were showing that graph of referrals going up year over year. And one thing you had mentioned is like realtors sharing it on their page frequently. I don't know if you have the metrics on this, but in my marketer brain had to ask this question. With those referrals, obviously you're getting direct referrals, but do you guys see any sort of like brand uplift that comes with that as well by having people share your clients' pages across their socials as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Because now what you're doing is with our program, each homeowner or each advocate has their own referral link, and every time that they share that, they are getting that brand recognition, and it's branded for that actual individual company. So from a branding perspective, what we do at Get the Referral is we'll build you a branded custom app. You'll actually own real estate on your customer's phone. So anytime they need to get a hold of you, anytime they need to see what's going on with their project, they have that right at their fingertips. And then they have their referral link. They can share that on Facebook, Nextdoor. And so yeah, from a branding perspective, it's a huge lift. And it kind of just gives you a little professional edge when you go into a home and you say to a customer and say, okay, now you signed the contract. What I need you to do now is let's go ahead and down our app. Oh, you got an app? Yeah. Well, I want to show you what your customer journey is going to look like. And so in there, we integrate with the CRM, and they're able to actually see the project stages getting updated in real time through an integration. So, and oh, by the way, here's your contract. Here's your warranty information. You have everything at your fingertips. I know when I was in my solar company, at the end of the job, I go out there with this big binder like this, and then I go through it real quick, show them the owner's manual. They put it up on a shelf and it just collected dust, right? So with this, you can do it in an electronic version where each time that they open up that app to look for something, it's top of mind awareness, push notifications. You're able to send push notifications, just gentle reminders. Happy holidays from ABC Roofing. Hey, we're doubling our referral program this month. Blah blah. Or there's a storm coming. I know a lot of your folks, Georgia, restoration and such. And so, hey, there's a storm coming. Remember, if you or your neighbors need any help, we're here to help, right? Just things like that, staying top of mind. And I always say my elevator pitch about Get the Referral is what we do is we provide you a way to communicate and engage with your customers from the point of sale to the delivery of product and beyond. And so that and beyond is really big. How do you stay connected to that customer more than the first 30, 45 days that is typical after a job is installed, right? They kind of forget about you, right? So how do you go about and find a way to actually, stay top of mind with them? So, but
That's huge too. Like
yeah, so that's a great
education.
question. Branding is so important.
And I mean, that's free, right? To pay for those impressions on
Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn's expensive. And the other thing you just brought up was push notifications with like A2P and stuff. SMS is becoming less
Yeah.
reliable to be able to deliver effective marketing campaigns. So that's cool that you can circumvent that with push notifications.
Yeah, and think about text messaging. I love text messaging. It's great. We do some of it with our program, but think about it. Like you get a text message from somebody and it's from a telephone number. And then a week later, you got to find it. You're scrolling through all your texts from your kids and your grandmother and everything else. Where is that text? With GTR, everything's in the app, right? You go, boom, here's all my push notifications. Here's all my in-app messages. Here's everything I need for this company. If I ever need anything, I got it right here. So it's important to do that. And I'll show you that kind of what that looks like. But let's talk a little bit about kind of, I think, the most 10 or 9 steps. And the 10th one is sort of like, partner would get the referral. But let's go here. Define your referral goals, right? Once again, what are you looking to do? Understand how much of your business is coming from referrals right now and define what you want to do. First 6 months, I want to go from 5% of my business to 7%, 10%, whatever that is. Understand the numbers around that. How many more referrals do I need to get in order to get this goal? Set yourself goals. Understand each rep. How many people do they see in a given week? How many closes do they have in a month? How many of those people can we turn into referrals? How many have they done before? How are they doing now? Are they asking? Are you using tools like voice recording on like a Rilla and things like that, where you can actually see if they're asking for a referral and coach them around that? Because if you do it right and you incent the sales reps from a perspective of, if you get a referral, we're going to pay you, it's a self-gen, you're going to get 2% more, 5% more, incent your sales reps so that they see what's in it for me as a sales rep. Why should I do this? You give me enough leads right now anyway, and I'm making X amount of dollars. Why should I do the extra work? I just want to get out of the house. Because it's going to help them individually, because they're going to see fewer people. They can see fewer people sell more deals and at a higher price point. So there's a lot in it for them. And then if you give them incentive for a self-gen, it's even better for them. So it's important to coach your sales reps, give them goals. I always recommend, when you launch a program, first 60, 90 days, have incentives for them above and beyond the extra self-gen money. Hey, whoever has the most referrals this week, it goes into a raffle for $500 or whatever. Just keep them excited, right? So define your referral goals. Identify who your resources are, referral sources are going to be. Is it going to be just your existing customers, your previous customers, your 5-star Google review customers? Is it every customer, even if they didn't buy from you, can they send you a referral? A lot of times they do. I had in my solar company, I had a customer buy from, we presented, and he bought from another company. And then about 3 months later, he calls me, goes, "Hey, I have a referral for you." I'm like, "Yeah, but you didn't go with us." I know. He goes, I should have. Here's a referral. And I got a referral from him. So it was pretty cool. So understand who you're going to go after first. Do it in phases. Okay, I'm going to go after all my existing customers first. I want to train my sales reps to go after all my new customers. Here's the process and how we do it. Here's how we're going to coach on it. So identify your referral support sources. Understand what you want to, how you want to incentivize them, right? If you're doing it without it, great. You're not going to grow that in that manner. You've got to find a way that will get them back again, have them doing it more than once or twice. And there'll be people out there that say, "I don't want the money," like I mentioned before. We actually allow, with our program, you can actually donate the money to different charities. So if they don't want money, say, "You know what? We'll pay you the $250, and you can donate to these different charities right here. Here's how you do it." So there's different ways you can do that. Promote your referral program. Like I said, social media. George can help you with this. Get it out there in every place that you can. Have it on your email signature. Have it on your contract. Have it in your folder or files. When you give them the file folder, whatever the case may be. Promote it everywhere you can, and then key is making it easy to refer. That's where software comes into play. Finding a tool out there that makes it super easy to refer, and then track and measure results, right? Be consistent, track and measure results. Make sure that if you are going to reward somebody, that you reward them, consistently and often and quickly. So it's important to do that. Build long-term relationships, not just with your customers, but with other businesses that may, turn into a referral resource for you. Once again, churches, school, PTAs, things like that. Go to homeowners associations, become friends with the homeowner, the leader in the neighborhood, and things like that. So there's a lot of things you can do there. Leverage your customer testimonials. Get a few of your customers out there and do a quick little Facebook video that tells them on what they had a great experience, and then that they referred them to 5 different people and they're happy, right? So build that from that perspective. And then once again, creating partnerships and strategic alliances with other businesses and such. So just so important. These are simple things, but they're the things that you need to do in order to formalize your program. Certainly that's what we do here at Get the Referral is we give you the ability to kind of put that all together. So let's see what else we got here. So that's kind of this slide deck. I know we got about 10 minutes left here, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Let me just show you kind of a tool that you might want to use in the future. But I'll show you what we do to help you get there. So let me just stop this share real quick and pull up another slide. Here. All right. Okay. So as I mentioned, we make it easy for somebody to refer. So what we do is we build you a branded app that's branded for you. You own real estate on your customer's phone. It's the resource center for your company. It's a customer portal. However you want to refer to it, this is where they can get any information about you, your company, and so on and so forth. So as I mentioned, the customer journey, here, Mr. Customer, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to get your permit. You're going to get a notification when you're scheduled, when you're in progress, when your inspection is completed. We're going to notify you automatically as these steps go through the process. If you guys work with Company Cam or Job Nimbus pictures, you can import pictures, upload pictures so that before and after or during the project, and they're all stored here in the app. The last status is the project complete. Click here to write a review. We actually have a review portal here as well, where they can write a 1 to 5 star. If it's a 5-star, sends them out to Google or Facebook, whatever review site you want them to write a public review. This will get stored in your dashboard. If it's a low threshold, 1, 2, or 3, it brings them to a different form. Say, hey, you didn't have a great experience. Please tell me why you try to avoid a bad referral. So you have a resource center here where you can upload documents, contracts, once again, as I shared with you before. And then, trying to create a great experience. They can contact you easily from the app, so they're not frustrated of trying to look your number up or can't remember the name of the sales rep. All that information is there. Here's like kind of all your push notifications that are going to be stored here. To your point, George, 97% of push notifications get read, right? So it's a great tool. Utilize it if you can. And then make it super easy for them to send a referral. Just click a button here. You can have multiple products here. Each product can have a different referral amount. They would select the product, import a contact, type the information in, and boom, that information gets sent to your CRM. And then when you convert that lead, it notifies the homeowner that they just earned $50, $100, whatever that amount is. And they can track all their referrals here so they can see what's the status of my referrals. They can go into the referral history. So they're not calling you and saying, hey, you said you're going to go see my friend. Did that ever happen? So you can kind of track all that. And then this is the Facebook piece, George, where they can actually, post a message on Facebook, Nextdoor, WhatsApp, and each homeowner will have their own unique referral form. And then if anybody fills that out, guess what? It's going to track back to the homeowner and the sales rep. So it's a great way to track and extend your reach. Just think about that. If you have 500 advocates and they all share their referral form once a week, think about the reach that you're going to get with your brand out there. So help and train your customers on how to do that. And then ultimately, those referrals come in, you track them, and you can reward them right here in the app. So as I mentioned, we have like a Venmo type wallet built in the app. Every time they go to the app, it's top of mind awareness. They see your brand. They know you just paid them money. They can link a bank, send it directly to cash, or select a gift card. But I just wanted to kind of share, this is kind of an example of a formalized program that you can put together that is going to drive tremendous increase in how you do business with regards to referrals and word of mouth marketing. So just so important to do that. So.
And is Ron Burgundy
your
top referrer?
That's what I wanted to kind of share with you guys today. Like I mentioned, a little short on time today, and I apologize for that. I'm sure George can probably entertain you here for the next 15 minutes. And
I'll do a dance.
But is there any burning questions before my time to leave here? Well, George, it's been a pleasure, and I really enjoy talking about this. Hopefully you can see that I'm very passionate about referrals and how we go about doing this. So just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to share this with your folks out there.
I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to speak here with our small community, Jamey. I appreciate it. I also I want to connect you with one of my clients. I think you might be the missing piece they need to hit their goal for this year. So is it okay if I reach out over email? Off topic for the webinar, guys. So, okay, cool. I'll reach out there. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for hopping on. I know you got to run for your next meeting, but appreciate you, Jamey.
All right, George. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Take care.